Good morning, everyone. Farley here. It is May 3rd, and we got a huge slate of betting action. We got games all day long starting at 10 o'clock, so we got about 2 hours before first pitch goes out. I'm going to try and be brief and to the point with 2.5 picks for you coming in just a second. Real quick, thank you for subscribing. Those that have, really appreciate it. I hope you're getting some value out of these games and all the work that I'm putting into doing the capping. Second, just want to say yesterday, lesson to be learned. I mentioned it in the video. Will not make that mistake again. It goes against one of my key rules to capping games, which is when big money is clearly on one side versus the other, and the line is reflected in that, don't go on the other side. So Houston had the public money. The Yankees were getting the sharp money. That was very clear by the line. I mentioned that in yesterday's game. I don't like to do that, and I did it anyway, and it was clear the big money won. So 4-0 Yankees win. Stanton, couple home runs, and there you go. Caps off to the Sharps in Vegas. You beat me. But I'm going to make sure I don't make that mistake again. All right, so let's get to the 2.5 picks I have for you. The first one, we got Julio Teheran back on the bump. After an extended rest, an extra day for Atlanta, going to Shea Stadium, pitching against Jason Vargas, who is now getting his second start after coming off the DL. So, first capping factor here is the Atlanta Braves against lefties are not afraid at all. They have the best batting average in the game at 292, which is by far the best batting average against lefties. Now, they don't have as many at-bats, as many starts against lefties as some of the other teams do. Teams don't often start a lefty against the Braves because they're going to get shelled. But here we have a lefty, Jason Vargas, coming in against them. So second cap I have is, I don't think Vargas has his stuff yet. And Jason Vargas is not like, say, James Paxton, who pitched yesterday for the Seattle Mariners, who pitched 41 out of his first 50 pitches for strikes. And it's just dominating to where hitters can't touch it anyway. Vargas needs to pitch the ball down. He's a sinking ball pitcher, and he has to keep the ball down. If he raises it up in the zone, it goes out of the park. And that's what happened against San Diego. 3 2/3, had 9 hits, 9 runs. San Diego hit it out of the park. He also had 3 walks. He had no command. Something's not dialed in with Jason Vargas. He had better fix it for this start. I don't think he will, so I'm going to fade Vargas and the New York Mets as well. Another handicapping factor, Julio Teheran in Shea Stadium is phenomenal. So not only against the New York Mets is he phenomenal, he's has a 2.2 ERA, 5-3 record in 12 starts, 77 2/3 innings, giving up 42 hits, and a 158 batting average to the Mets. In Shea Stadium, or Citi Field, 193 ERA, 193 ERA, 3-1, 32 2/3 innings, 17 hits. Opponents hitting just 153 against him. So Teheran has a great record in Shea Stadium and against the Mets. So I'm also going to be backing that factor as well with the Braves. Now the last thing I want to point in here, what is this? The fifth factor or something like that, that's going for the Braves. The Braves have knocked in an NL best 161 runs. They have a plus 46 run differential, which is the best in the National League. The Mets, while they're 6 games over 500, only have 6 runs as a run differential. They've lost 2 straight, only won 4 of the last 10. Braves have won 4 straight. They've won 7 of the last 10. Back in the hotter team, back in the better offense, back in the better pitching staff, going against a little bit overrated New York Mets team that's going to have to polish off the back of their starting pitching rotation if they want to make a run here. All right, going on to the second game. So I'm taking them plus 100 Atlanta Braves on the road in New York. All right, second game I have is taking Ronaldo Lopez, Chicago White Sox. Not going to often find too much money coming in on Chicago White Sox, but today is a day that we do. 73% of the tickets are coming in on Minnesota. 62% of the money is coming in on the Chicago White Sox. The line is just barely moved towards the White Sox. So we're learning from our game yesterday and applying that to today, backing the White Sox at home. Now, the White Sox, compared to Minnesota, are doing better. They're starting to knock the ball around a little bit. They have lost 4 straight, but they've won 4 of the last 10. Meanwhile, Minnesota's only won 2 of the last 10. We're really here. I'm really backing Lopez versus Odorizzi. Lopez is only given up at most, even in his worst outing, which was his last one, gave up 10 hits over 6 1/3, spreading him out there and only giving up 2 runs. Beyond that, he's given up 1, 2, 0, and 1 this season. So really strong pitching outings, and they're starting to hit the ball a little bit. I'm going to go with the Chicago White Sox at home at a -110. All right, the last game I have for you, this is my half game, just because I want to make sure the first game is a winner. If you want, you can jump on it early. I don't see anything wrong with that. We're taking game 2, Toronto-Cleveland, backing Biagini against Plutko. I don't know a lot about Plutko, to be honest with you. A lot of times I'll do research on a pitcher that is coming out of the minors. But he's in his debut start here today in this doubleheader. I don't see any reason why Carrasco doesn't win the lead game. Garcia has had some success against Cleveland, but Carrasco's really good at home. So contingent upon a loss of Toronto in the first game, they come back and win that second game. Toronto's way too good of a team to drop 2 games to Cleveland today. Just check this out, all right? Toronto is 17-13. Cleveland is 16-13. They're a little bit better team. It's often confused because Cleveland's been playing in the Central, where they lead the Central with a 16-13 record. They only have 5. They're a +5 run differential over their opponents. That's because of their pitching staff. They're not scoring runs. 120 runs on the season for a leading team in the AL. Meanwhile, Toronto Blue Jays have knocked in 156 runs, +28 run differential. And here they are on the road where they're 8-6, going to Cleveland, where they've won 5 of their last 10 and just playing very mediocre ball. So I'm looking for Cleveland to win the first game and then Toronto to come back and win that second game at a +150. So I'm putting my money on Biagini, Toronto Blue Jays, second game +150. Again, that's contingent upon a loss of the first game. If they do win that game, I'll pass on the second game. So there's my 2.5 plays for the day. All right, good luck, everybody. I'll see you again soon.